Hi folks, I'm Nathan with Two Guys in a Ride, and today we're out here at the Elko Speedway, and we are here with Mitch. And Mitch, you may recognize from a couple of our videos. Well, one, he was in the background, but we did his grandfather's.
Yep.
What year was that car again?
1931 Model A two-door.
Yeah, fantastic video and story. And then Mitch was also in the back of the Ford Raptor, and we were off-roading. And he's the one that reminded Rob, or asked Rob, once we got to the top of the hill and got stuck, if he turned off traction control. So, anyways,
difference.
So, Mitch, you're out here racing.
Yeah.
With the NASCAR Legends racing.
Yep.
And so, how did you get into racing?
Well, I've kind of always had a passion for everything with a motor and wheels and everything. If it can go fast, I was usually going to try it out through my entire life. It happened a couple years back where Mr. Rob Thurston came into mine and my wife's optometry practice in Victoria, Minnesota, Seek Eye Care. That's one of the main sponsors of these cars. And we had a handshake agreement on a Wednesday night at a car show to sponsor his race car. And unfortunately, by Saturday, he had drove up the wall and turn 2 and totaled the car out in turn 3.
And that was this car.
That was this car. So this car actually, and I haven't told you guys this even, so this one actually has the nickname Christine. So, because it comes back, and it just keeps coming back no matter what we do to it.
Okay, so you've always had a passion for cars, and then through Rob, and you connected with him, you kind of got into racing.
No, so Rob, he after he wrecked this car, he ordered the coupe, the new one. This is all the best of the best in INEX Legends right now. It's still on a Ford body, but this one has a liquid-cooled FC09 3-cylinder motorcycle motor in it. Mine has a 4-cylinder 1250 Yamaha motor in it.
Okay.
But he was waiting for that car to come out of North Carolina. It took a little longer than expected, so he started piecing Christine back together. Ended up finding a body, finding other parts he needed, and ended up being a really good backup car the first year, if we ever needed it, if the new one was working some kinks out, because that was one of the first ones that rolled off the assembly line.
Okay.
And he kept telling me, you got to get in this car, just drive it, you'll be fine. You can't do anything to it that I've never done to it before. And he kept twisting my arm. Last year we did a little bit of practice in the middle of summer, and then we had a little bit of a late start to this season, but I said, hey, you know what, I'll just jump in the car and see what happens, and we've been having fun ever since. It's I believe this is my 4th race out here now.
So this is just brand new to you. I mean, you just
wow.
No,
I jumped in it and away we went.
Fantastic. Now let's talk. The engine has it's a manual transmission.
Correct. Yep. 5-speed manual.
And it's the same transmission that would have been on the motorcycle.
Correct. Yep. One
so
forward,
it's like
four back.
Okay. Now, on the inside of your car, you've got a couple of things.
Yep.
You first of all got a huge tack.
Yes.
Which is obviously really important when you're racing. You don't care so much about speedometer,
no.
But I noticed that it goes to 10, but it doesn't have a red line.
Yeah, the car, so it really actually pushes a little past that. These cars are running about 10.5 down there, so the tack really doesn't do a ton for me. I barely ever look at it.
Okay, which brings us to the next non-functioning gauge in your car. Right in the middle, you've got an oil pressure.
Yeah, so that's asked Rob, and they were giving me the rundown. The guys that were teaching me how to do all this stuff, what that gauge was for, and they said, "Don't worry about that, little guy. It doesn't work." So it's supposed to be an oil temp gauge, but
okay.
Yeah, he said just drive it and.
Well, I guess if you get oil blowing up to the inside of the car, you probably know something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
All right, over on the far right, then you've got 2 toggle switches with a push button in between them. What are those?
Yep, so just ignition all the way on the left. The push button itself is actually to kick the starter on, and then all the way on the far side is a manual switch to turn the cooling fans on. I mean, this is an air-cooled motor, so if I'm under caution or having to sit and idle for a little while, I'll flip that on, or when I come back in to cool the motor down a little bit after we've run some laps.
Okay, and your seat, that's a standard seat that anyone can purchase. It's not like a custom-made one?
Nope, that's a standard one.
Okay, so I got one more question about the inside.
Yeah.
You have a little piece of duct tape in there that says 4th gear. Tell us about that.
So the first time I was out running this car, Rob told me put it in 4th gear, and it was pretty much all right, kicked me out there. Well, it turned out I was running in 3rd gear and banging it off the rev limiter the whole time, about 2 seconds off the lap. And so he proceeded to put a 4th gear bright red sticker in there for me. We'll call it the rookie sticker.
I love it. Now, in this kind of racing, you have all the safety gear. I mean, you've got
Yeah.
the roll cage.
Yep.
You've also got the neck,
Hans device.
yeah,
Yep.
the Hans device, and then you've got, of course, your helmet.
Yep.
And like a
5-point harnesses.
Okay, I was
Yep.
going to say 50-point harness.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it
it's
feels
a
like
lot.
when you're getting in and out.
and that's to keep you safe.
Yeah, it's one of the safest classes out there, in my opinion.
All right, tell us a little bit about the tires that you're running, because you've been off the track for a while
Right.
since your last practice lap, and it's still tacky.
Yep, so these are racing slicks by Hoosier. It's brand new to this year. Inex and Legends class started running Hoosier bias ply 13-inch wheel tires. So it's a little stickier of a tire. They used to have a cut down street Federal tire on there they used to have to run. These are way grippier, and you can put the car wherever you want it once you got her set up.
Nice. Now, on the back here, and you have the same thing on the front, but basically you have a dual function. So you have a bumper, right?
Yep.
And then you also have a jack point, like the NASCARs do.
Yep.
One jack
Away
and
we
up
go.
it goes.
Yep.
And it's the same with the front, so you can quickly change tires or work on them.
Yep.
Okay. Now I notice that you have a whole bunch of stickers that all race cars do, because you have sponsors.
Correct.
And well, tell us first of all about the one on the hood.
Okay. Well, Seek Eye Care is what kind of started it all. That's mine and my wife's optometry practice in downtown Victoria, Minnesota. We've been there for about 3.5, going on 4 years now. That is the main sponsor for both the cars. It's just a nice independent practice in downtown Victoria. Mom and pop shop on Main Street is what me and my wife have kind of always wanted to do, but we want to bring the latest optometry technology. We have machines in there that nobody else has in this country to be able to predict things early on. It's my wife's kind of passion, and she's the optometrist, and we always joke around. I kind of do everything else, from the janitor to the accountant to pre-testing to fitting glasses, whatever needs to be done.
Okay.
Mr. Brockhouse rolled by.
All right, so tell us a little bit more about the other stickers.
So the stickers up on the roof are actually where we get into Rob's side of it. So Thurston Inc. is Rob's 9 to 5 that he typically does to be able to afford all this lovely stuff.
So when you say 9 to 5, that's like 9 to 10 on Thursdays.
On Thursdays, yeah.
Okay.
Got to get the car
That
ready
sounds
on
good to say
Friday,
9
go
to
race
5.
Saturday. Yep,
Okay.
9 to 5. Max's Grill is actually Rob's sister's restaurant in Olivia, right on 212.
Yeah, it used to be the sheep.
They also have, it's
shed.
still the Sheep Shed. So
Oh,
Sheep
so they
Shed
have
is
two.
actually the hotel that's attached to Max's. that they
Okay,
actually
I've
own.
been there before.
Yeah, very good restaurant, cool hotel.
And then now you also sponsor Discover Victoria Car Show,
Right,
which
yep.
we unfortunately couldn't have this year, but they're a great place to go, and it's growing every year.
Absolutely.
Well, except for this year because we couldn't have it.
COVID, yeah.
But,
It's
a great place to go, and Mitch is the person in charge of getting that all set together. So,
yeah.
on behalf of car people, thanks for doing
Yes,
that.
you're very welcome. We enjoy it.
Now, what's one of your favorite memories from racing?
From racing, all of them are still pretty early for memories. All of it's a new memory for me, but like I've said before, last race didn't go quite as good during practice for me. I was having some of my fastest laps I've ever had before.
Okay.
And I was cruising around, and all of a sudden I looked down the second to last lap practicing, and Rob was right below me in his other car, spooked me a little bit. Turned the thing around sideways, smashed the back of the car into the wall, just basically backed it right up in. Had to replace the crash bar back here, the bumper back here. And I was freaking out. And Rob beat me back into the pits. I pull up where we usually park side by side, and he's pretty much folded over laughing. And I think the car's wrecked. And he's like, get in the golf cart, go buy a bumper, and get back out there and keep running. So far, that's probably my favorite memory right now.
Well, Mitch, thank you so much for taking your time. Tell us about your beautiful car. We sure appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you.